Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, first and foremost, I want to give our praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Chakodash. The honors to our apostles and others, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful, like I pushing his truth and sincerity. All right, thought about the foot you do, we love you, we appreciate you through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, shalom to y'all. All right, it's your brother Dabba from the great millstone camp in Atlanta. All right, Lord willing to give you edifying lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. All right. Who the world ignorantly calls God, his name is Yahweh, meaning he is or he exists or he to be. Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his name is Yahweh Shai, meaning he is the Savior, all right, or he is the deliverer, all right. He saves, he delivers. Okay. So let's see here, man. If you're watching this now and you are a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, then you are a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible, all right? You will not find Black, Native American, or Latino in the Bible. So you need to know who you are according to the Bible, okay? All right. So even if you don't look like a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino, that doesn't mean that you're not that you can't receive salvation. All right. It does not matter what you look like. It does not matter what color your skin is. It only matters that your bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Jacob had his name later changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew is Yasharallah, meaning he is a prince of the power. All right. Yes, I did not pay my stuff. Let's go ahead and put do not disturb on. Let's check out what we got here. Make sure the Lord is coming to destroy. Let me see. Are these all on public? Make sure these are on. Yeah, they all on public. When will we stop being wicked wannabes? Watching this now, you're a so-called Black Native. It was last time we stopped at 16, huh? It's all Satan, so it doesn't matter which. Okay, so we'll do 17. Okay, this is 1 Kings 17:1. All right, so we're continuing on with the accounts of our forefathers. We're reading these. Let's see. Elijah predicts drought. 1 Kings 17:1, and Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants, because you remember he had pretty much made the family to prosper, man. That the woman that helped him, you see, because a friend of the prophets, man, or the ones who give the prophet a cold cup of water, man, they pretty much protected, man, It says, and Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, as the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, power of Israel, right, in the Hebrew Yasharallah, liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word. All right. So, hey, look, man, a drought, man. Right. He prophesied this, man. He prophesied this. It says, and the word of the Lord came unto him saying, now him prophesying this back then is the same as us prophesying the destruction of Babylon today. All right. The destruction, and the things that's coming. All right. It's the same thing. Right. When you read Jeremiah 28:8, it says the prophets that been before me of old, been before me and before thee of old, prophesied both against kingdoms and kingdoms and let me get that so I don't chop it up. All right, Jeremiah chapter 28 verse 8 says the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old, yep, prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evils and of pestilence. That's what we're doing today. That's exactly what we're doing today, right? It says, verse 3, it says, get thee hence and turn thee eastward and hide thy face by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And it shall be that thou shalt drink of the brook, and I have commanded the ravens to feed thee there. So he went and did according to the word of the Lord. For he went and dwelt by the brook Cherith, that is before Jordan. And make sure I didn't read that, because I could have sworn I read that. Obadiah meets, I believe we read this. Let me see. Can it pass after many days the word of Elijah? Let's go back to the to YouTube. our last your videos. The Lord is coming to destroy when we stop being wicked wannabes. Yeah, because this was Nahum, wasn't this? Vengeance and it's this is Nahum. Oh no, I read it by myself. That's what it was. Yeah, I was reading this by myself. All right. Verse 6. It says, and the ravens brought him bread and flesh in the morning, and bread and flesh in the evening. And he drank of the brook. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongeth to Sidon, and dwell there. And behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. And actually, I kind of skipped ahead. This is what I was talking about. The woman, and how, that it benefited her because of giving a prophet a cold glass of water, right? That was my fault because I was reading this earlier on my own, trying to, figure out what I was going to teach, right? So it says, so he arose and went to Zarephath. I kind of gave it away. So like it says, but bro should know this story anyways, though. It says, and when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, fetch me, I pray thee, a little water and a vessel that I may drink. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. And she said, as the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, thy power liveth, I have not a cake, but an handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks that I may go and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. All right. So she had no faith at that moment, at that time. She felt all was lost. Right. And so the wicked women of these days who be with their children that are going to be in these days going to be have a burden of having children and no man to protect them. A man of the Lord, not regular men, a man of the Lord. All right. It says, and Elijah said unto her, fear not, go and do as thou hast said, but make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me. After make for thee and for thy son. Because she thought that, hey man, I might as well, put in our lives, because yeah, we got a little bit of food left, but it's not going to last us and we're going to be put to death. That's what she thought. Because why? Because of the famine, the great famine that the Lord had put upon the earth, or upon that land. It says, for thus saith the Lord, power of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day of the Lord sendeth rain upon the earth. And bros are going to have superpowers, man, supernatural powers for these times, man, right? Yeah, superpowers, man. It says, and she went, or spiritual powers, Salakia. It says, and she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. See, you see that? It says, and the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by Elisha. Elijah raised the widow's son. It says, and it came to pass after these things that the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick, and his sickness was so sore that there was no breath left in him. And she said unto Elijah, what have I to do with thee, O thou man of God? Art thou come unto me to call my sin to remembrance and to slay my son? It's like, woman, did you not just see what I just did? Did you not just see what I just did upon to your household, or for your household? Not even I, the Lord, Salakia, the Lord, right? The Lord did through Elijah for you. Stop with the pretty much, kind of talking under your breath, really, but, you're crying out loud. But hey, man, we all, sometimes, this truth is like a roller coaster. You go up and down, man, because you endure so much. You endure so much. You sit there and you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, nah, man, just have faith, man. Just have faith, man, that everything's gonna be fine, bro. Continue to do what you're supposed to do. Make things right with the Lord, and then all else will be taken care of, man. It says, and he said unto her, give me thy son. And he took him out of her bosom and carried him up into a loft where he abode, and laid him upon his own bed. And he cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord, my power Hast thou also brought evil upon the widow with whom I sojourn by slaying her son? And he stretched himself upon the child 3 times and cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord, my God, I pray thee, let this child's soul come into him again. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul of the child came into him again, and he revived. All right, so that's spiritual power. You see, power, right? And that's also having faith. You see, that is spiritual power, and that's having faith, and that's crying to the Lord, man. That's why when people say take the wheel, God take the wheel, Jesus take the wheel, they really don't know what they really saying. We really say Yahweh Shem Yahshua Baba Gashah, which means please, Baba Gashah, take the wheel, man. But the thing is, the difference that make us between these people and us, they don't really know, they don't know the name of the Lord, so they don't know who to pray to. It says, and Elijah took the child and brought him down out of the chamber into the house and delivered him unto his mother. And Elijah said, see, thy son liveth. And the Lord, and the woman said to Elijah, now by this I know that thou art a man of God. And that's what's going to happen to us. People are going to know that we are the prophets and we are the chosen. And we are the Lord's prophets and we are the Lord's chosen, man. All right, they're going to know that. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. It says, and that the word of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, in thy mouth is true. Because the Lord is not a man where he shall lie. With that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rachach Kodash, the bonus to our apostles, the elders, the great millstone that rule well. Peace and